We're happy to have all of you here. And today is actually a 2-hour business planning workshop. So all of these slides will be posted on the Collaborating Agents Facebook page under Files. And the video will be posted by Friday. And then it'll also be available on our YouTube channel. All right, 30% businesses that have a business plan grow 30% faster. So in the chat, I want you guys to say yes or no if you have a business plan. And then Carrie, if you can interrupt me when most of the answers are in and let me know, that would be great. Tom Ferry is well-renowned in the real estate industry, and he says that the realization of your plan is worth more than any single transaction. Refuse to let your business interfere with your plan and trust the process. I have one of my mentors. He will actually say to you, if it's not in my business plan, I'm not doing it. Now, I don't work that way, but that's how some people are. They just totally stick to their business plan, and that's how they do it. So your business
Kat, we
plan.
have all those.
So nobody has a business plan. Wow. Okay. All right. So this is going to get really, it can get really complicated, but you can keep it simple too. So I'll make sure you guys will get bonus materials for attending today. So I do need you to drop your email address into the chat, and Carrie, it downloads the chat for me, so you don't need to do anything. And then you will get bonus materials, and I will put in, you have a template or an example, a template really, of a complex business plan, but I'll put one in for a simple plan too, so that you guys can get started in a smaller way and then build from there. But I treat my business plan as a living, breathing document. I write it like it is an outline to a paper. So if you remember writing a paper in high school or college and they told you how to write an outline, that's how I put my business plan together. When I have new ideas, I add it to my plan. That way, if I get stuck or I have to pivot, because especially now with things being a little bit slower and money being tighter for everyone, sometimes we have to pivot from our original plan. And then I just go to my business plan and I have these ideas right there for me to look at. When you've completed something, check it off in your plan so that you can see what you've accomplished and what goals you have met. Well, spacing's off there. My plan is 18 plus pages long, and it includes all of my ideas for 2024. I have 22 different event ideas, but we all know I'm not doing 22 events next year. But it's just like I was saying, I add all of my new ideas and things that I come up with to my business plan. And so when you get stuck, everything's in one central place. So you hear this a lot. What is your why? You need to know your why, because your why is what motivates you. It's that simple. And what motivates you is what gives you the determination to reach your goals. So for me, my why is that I want to be able to travel. And so I also want to be in a position where I can say, more or less, money's not an object. So if my dog needs a surgery and it's going to cost me $10,000, I don't have to worry about where that $10,000 is going to come from. So that's my why. And your goals matter. So you need to determine which activities will help you achieve your goals, whether that is doing events or spending more money on Facebook ads. What other things are out there? Doing direct mail, going to festivals, things like that. So determine what activities you will do, and then you'll break those down to help you how you can get to that goal. Creating a marketing plan. So my business plan and my marketing plan are more or less the same, but it needs to make sense of your lead generation, of your lead sources. So for events, for me, is a lead gen. And so under my events, I'm going to list what events I'm going to do. And then I also break it down and do everything by quarter as well. So breaking it down by quarter helps me reach those annual goals. You want to improve your operations and your business structure. So in your business plan, you're also going to have somewhat of a budget. I need to take my own advice in this situation, but having a budget for your business is super important. And then most importantly, honestly, is to set personal goals to help you live a healthy and balanced life. So a couple of those things that I do is I don't work after 7 p.m. I don't answer text messages or emails unless it's in the middle of negotiations or putting out a fire. After 7 p.m. is my family time. I also don't work on Sundays, which for some real estate agents, that is probably mind blowing. But I set these expectations from the very beginning with my clients. I go to church Sunday morning and then I visit my in-laws. And then by the time we come home, it's time for football. So sorry, those things are important. If I have to work on a Sunday because that's my only option, then I will try and take Saturday or Friday off to spend time with family. But my general rule is I don't work on Sundays, and I have never had anybody complain about it. So those are the kinds of things that I'm talking about having a healthy and balanced lifestyle. The other thing is Carrie and I do a daily devotional Bible study together in the mornings, just through the Bible app. So we read it when we have time throughout the day, and then we comment. Another thing that you can do is, okay, let's say you go to the gym every morning. Carrie likes to go to the gym. So you go to the gym every morning. That should be a part of your business plan to help you live a healthy and balanced life. So let's get started. Your GCI, which you may have heard your brokers mention, is your gross commission income. Remember, gross is before taxes and before expenses. So in your gross commission, under your gross commission income, you also want to include historical data so that you can, at a glance, see how you have improved. You also need to know your numbers. How many houses have you sold? What is your GCI? How close are you to capping? Those kinds of things. You need to know your numbers. So as we're going through this, think about what is your GCI goal for 2024? And I'll give you a quick way to figure that out. And one of your bonus materials is super duper awesome, and it's going to help you calculate and figure out all of this stuff. So I break my GCI down into number of contracts, because I am the type of person that if I have a goal and I'm seeing that it's not being accomplished, then I kind of get down on myself and feel defeated. So I like to work in terms of number of contracts, and it's also a lot easier to track. So take the average home price in your market area. So if you're a luxury agent, what's your average luxury price point? If you do first-time home buyers, what's the average price for that, and so on. Calculate out your commission for that average home price, and then divide that by the dollar amount of your GCI goal. So if your gross commission income goal is $100,000 and your average home sells for $100,000, you're going to have to sell 100 houses in order to meet your GCI goal. You can adjust your GCI as the year goes on if you feel you need to. That's why I like it to be a living, breathing document. Like I said, I like to achieve my goals. Be realistic with your numbers for next year, especially given current market conditions. My goals for this year financially will not be met, but I also know that I'm in a very rural area. So I know it's not me, it's the market, but we have to make adjustments for that. So we're going to start with something as simple as your daily goals. So one of those daily goals, of course, is going to be lead generation. Don't cringe when you hear that word. You'd be surprised at what you do every day that is considered lead generation. So Carrie, before I get into my list, hopefully you're hanging out there. Before I get into my list, if you could tell us the story about what happened when you wore your Ask Me About Real Estate t-shirt.
Sure.
I know Carrie.
Wait, hang on. Wait. Okay. So I was a little bit nervous about wearing it for the first time. So I just thought, well, I'm just going to do it, get out of my comfort zone. And I put it on. I was running I think it was a Saturday morning, and I was just running some errands, and I had to run into the store. I was picking up dog food, and I was walking past a counter where there was an older gentleman standing there. And he goes, my t-shirt said, ask me about real estate. So the guy goes, hey, what about real estate? I said, well, what do you want to know? And so it just started this whole conversation, and one thing led to another. He had his mom had recently passed away, and he has her property that he's going to need to get on the market. So I potentially got a lead out of just wearing that t-shirt. So it is a really good conversation starter. So if you're worried about it, for me, I don't know why, it was just kind of a mental thing. I was a little bit nervous about it, but this business is all about getting out of your comfort zone. So it worked for me.
Yep, it is. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. So that's just an example. Like running errands can literally be a lead generation opportunity for you. A lot of old school real estate agents that have been around for a really long time, you'll see that they wear a name tag, and that's for that same reason. It's a conversation starter. Some people will still say wear a name tag everywhere you go. So your daily activities that can be lead generation include social media, networking, creating marketing materials, attending social functions. So this can be something like a businesswoman's group, a small business owners group, your chamber of commerce. It can be, oh, there was something else I was thinking of. A social service organization like Kiwanis or Rotary or the people who wear the fuzzy hats. I can't remember. Anyway, and it can be attending community events like a festival. People are more and more real estate agents are more and more starting to show up to real estate events or community events. If that is something you think you might want to do, I highly suggest you go back and watch our video on putting on events. Because it actually talks about some cool ways to get people involved. And early next year, we're going to have a person come and talk to us about how she does her table at a festival because she gets all the attention. She takes it away from the other real estate agents that are there. And most importantly, the people that come visit her have fun. Also, walking your neighborhood is a super good and easy way to network while you're out and about. Wear that t-shirt that says ask me about real estate, or I have a ball cap that says this girl sells real estate. I don't like how it looks on me, but I wear it anyway. So it gives you that opportunity to your neighbors to see you and know that you're a real estate agent and start up conversations. You may be on a power walk, but stop and talk to your neighbors. If you're new to the neighborhood, that's a perfect excuse. Hi, I'm Kat. I just moved into the neighborhood a couple months ago. Can you tell me anything about the neighborhood? When you start a conversation with someone, whether you are starting it with the intention of talking about real estate or you're just having a conversation, real estate will inevitably come up as soon as they know you are a real estate agent. So more on your daily goals. Just about anything you do can be a daily goal, but make it the work that counts. This is what I call my dailies, and it takes up most of my morning. Reaching out to past clients, a quick hi, how are you? Not hi, how are you? Do you want to sell your home? Just hi, how are you? This conversation can come to an end by saying, do you know anyone who wants to buy or sell their home? For me, I'm doing a referral giveaway for 2023. So anybody, including real estate agents and lenders that send me a referral, a valid referral, and I explain in the marketing what constitutes a valid referral, they get entered into a drawing for the grand prize at the end of the year. So you could add that. Do you know anyone who wants to buy or sell their home? And if they say no, then have like a little screenshot ready and say, hey, I'm doing this referral rewards program or whatever you guys decide to do. Remember that 5 contacts a day, past clients, friends, and even other real estate agents, because other real estate agents are the ones who mostly send you business. For me, like I said, I'm rural, but I'm only an hour from Cincinnati, Dayton, and Columbus. A lot of those agents in the cities don't want to drive much more than 30 minutes, and 45 minutes out, that's a half hour for me or less, 15 minutes. And so I get referrals from agents in the city that know that I work the more rural areas in addition to working the cities. Posting to social media, all platforms, reels, stories, and posts. It is really important to have at least one story a day up because anybody that is on your list can see that. They don't actually have to wait for a notification that you've posted something. They see something. That if you're only doing one story a day, it absolutely needs to have your face and it absolutely needs to be clear that you are a real estate agent. Check your MLS. That's another form of working on your daily goals, another form of prospecting, because what if you're looking and you find the perfect house for someone who you've talked to, but they're waiting until next spring to buy? You should send them that perfect house. Real estate news. It's always important to know what's going on. You can subscribe to Inman News. It's about $100 a year. But if you are going to be into the news and sharing the news with your sphere of influence and on social media, then Inman is your best and most reliable resource. So we have the dailies and then we have the weeklies. These are the things that I do every week in addition to things you are going to do every week or day to grow your business. So every week, take a past client to lunch or someone in your sphere of influence. Attend a community event if it's available. Have coffee with another real estate agent. Attend your HOA meetings, attend a PTA meeting, or even just posting a weekly YouTube video or, every other day posting a reel. Those are your weekly goals. If your goal is to post 2 or 3 reels a week, that's a weekly goal. Here's some more ideas for what you can do for lead gen and weekly goals: sharing properties, posting client reviews, learning something new, like attending our bi-monthly collaboration meetings, weekly blog post. I do coffee with Kat. When I moved to Ohio a year ago, so this was part of my business plan to get out in the community here. And so I did it once a month when I started, and now because of my schedule, I did it every week. And now because of my schedule, it's once a month, but it's the same. It's the second Wednesday of every month. So if someone doesn't have any questions now, they're going to know that in 3 months, I'm going to be there on the second Wednesday of the month. I call it Coffee with Kat, and coffee is spelled with a K. Doing any sort of agent attraction type work, that is still lead gen, because you're generating that lead to bring agents into your company, which benefits you financially. Sending CMAs to non-owner occupied homes, targeting that first-time home buyer, or even posting restaurant reviews on Google. So that's another thing I did when I first moved here to Ohio. Every time we did something or went somewhere to eat, I posted a review. Why? Because it gets your name out there in Google. You post it under your business page, always post a picture, and then just post a quick review of the product or store or location that you went to. Then you have your monthly goals. These, again, are additional things you are going to do every month to grow your business. Are you going to start a monthly business or a monthly postcard campaign? Attend a community event, host an event, post a YouTube video monthly, do a monthly newsletter, or offer like a lunch and learn type training class. Some of the goals I have: to do at least 2 open houses per month, tour 4 homes per month and do a video, do a monthly market update. I post it and I put it into video. A monthly women's mastermind. I haven't been able to do that. I've tried to put one together in my community, but I just haven't had success. And then sending out the Reminder Media magazine. So, those are some examples of monthly goals. Now, what we talked about at the beginning, quarterly goals. Again, additional things you're going to do. And remember, you guys are writing this like an outline to a paper, and you will, in your bonus materials, get an example of a business plan and how to set it all up. So in your quarterly goals, how many events are you going to host each quarter? How many business books are you going to read? How many contacts are you going to add to your database? That's not just reaching out and making your 5 dailies. This is in addition to your 5 dailies. How many transactions are you going to close each quarter to meet your annual GCI goal? All right. Any questions so far on breaking those down: the dailies, the weeklies, the monthlies, and the quarterly goals? Okay. And I guess coming back to this, if you have not read the 12-week year, I highly recommend reading it. It talks about breaking all of your business goals and plans down into quarterly bite-sized pieces. So it takes each quarter, which is 12 weeks, and you make annual goals that you are going to accomplish in a quarter, is basically how it comes down to it. But it talks about how you can get that done. All right. So here are some client lead sources. We talked about different ways that you can get leads. Here's a whole list of them. If you are going to do short sales, foreclosures, relocation, or luxury, I highly suggest that you do some specific training for that and get certified. It's not that the certification means anything, but it just gives you additional ways and ideas to market to that specialized community. Relocation, short sales, and foreclosures are super important to have done a certification program on, because there are so many unique things that have to be done for each one of those types of transactions. The luxury training kind of just gives you higher end ways to market properties, better ways to present a listing presentation, things like that, because it is a step up from doing everyday real estate. Marketing ideas. So this is where you start so these are sub paragraphs or subheadings. No, they're actually headings that I have in my business plan. So I have one specifically that says client lead sources. What am I going to do this year for client lead sources? For me, it's events, social media, somewhat in the community. I'm currently doing FSBOs and expireds, but I'm not having success with it. Of course, referrals, and then luxury. That's kind of my client lead sources. So then another heading is marketing ideas. This is where you start separating out each of your lead sources. And then, so if your lead source is social media, so if you're writing that outline, A is going to be social media. So your 1, 2, 3, 4 on your outline is going to be how you are going to get there. How are you going to use social media to market yourself? Are you going to post reels, stories, blogs? Are you going to market to one of your niches? Things like that. You're going to list 4 to 5 ways that you plan on marketing your business within each marketing idea or each lead source. Getting your face out there so that people know who you are, and you gain that KLT factor, the know, like, and trust factor. Then continue to add to it. What steps are you going to take with each one? Here's a whole bunch of marketing ideas for you. Most of them have been listed before, but here they are again. And again, the slides will be posted right after the meeting. Here's some more event ideas. I recommend doing events in your neighborhood or your farm. They take a lot of ideas, a lot of time to put together and planning. I suggest that you start on planning doing 1 event per quarter and make it seasonal. So this is really old. I didn't update this slide. So last year on September 14th, I planned on doing an event planning class. I think that was online. Anyway, so it really wasn't marketing to other people. But this year I have done, in the spring, okay, so let me back up a little bit. I don't farm my community. My community is literally a village, and there's 1,200 people, and the average home price here is $150. I go 30 minutes away, actually probably 130. I go 30 minutes away, and that average home price jumps by $100,000. So I have my farm in one of the local communities, and then I just market my community, even though it's small, even though there's a lot of renters here. It's giving back to my community, and giving back is super important to me, and it's a part of my business plan. But also, those people know people, so there's a chance for that referral. So you could do these in your subdivision if you live in a subdivision. If you live in your farm area, you can do them in your farm. Find a park that is close to your farm area. So for Easter, I did an Easter scavenger hunt. I went and I got yard decorations, just the little PVC board yard decorations. I put them throughout town. They did a scavenger hunt for the kids, like a little bingo card. And then they had to post their completed bingo card on my business page, or they could send it to me and I would post it on my business page. And then the ones that completed it got entered to win a prize. I kind of did something similar for Halloween last year. I did a pumpkin carving contest. So these don't cost you very much at all, because you don't need a grand prize. For kids, a $25 gift card to Target is huge. So it cost me $25 to do this Halloween event. It cost me $25 to do we'll call it $40 to do the scavenger hunt one. I did we called it cupcakes in the park. I know I did something for summer. I just can't remember what it was, but I did cupcakes in the park where I gave away school supplies. I got school supply money donated from my vendors and from individuals in town. And then I went out and I bought all the school supplies. My cousin makes cupcakes, so she donated all of the cupcakes. I've done this as popsicles in the park. And then I think next year I'm going to do it as cookies in the park. Maybe popsicles, depending upon how the weather's going. But other ideas, you can do movies in the park. It's something I'm going to be doing next year. Next summer, I'm going to get one of those little projectors for like $40, get a screen for like $40, and you can rent a popcorn machine or buy one, have everybody bring their own drinks or even sell soda, whatever, however far into it you want to get. Same thing with an ice cream social. If you live in an HOA, have one of the local ice cream trucks come out, and everybody can buy ice cream, and it's on you. You could do a neighborhood shred event where you pay to have the shredding company come, and then people just bring their stuff. You could do the same thing with a dumpster. Next spring, we're doing an adopt a pet day with my groomer. My groomer and I are doing this together. You could plan a petting zoo. You can do a canned food drive. I think it was last year that we did the canned food drive. You could coordinate with a photographer to pay them like $250, and for 3 hours or whatever, you can have your clients come up and sign in 15-minute increments, and they can have their pictures with Santa. You could do a pumpkin carving contest or a pumpkin painting.
I have a quick question. Quick question. So when you're doing all this, and how are you getting your point across that you're a realtor and you can help them find a home? I mean, you're investing in all this, but how are you, I mean, are you seeing any results when you're doing this? How are you getting your point across that you are who you are and that you can help them find a home or buy a home or that kind of thing?
So yes, so I have a banner that I put out wherever the event is going. I have swag set out, and my advertising, it says I'm a real estate agent. And, you know, sometimes people will ask me questions about it, but my goal with doing these events, especially here in my immediate community, is not to get transactions out of it. It's to build the know, like, and trust factor, so that people be like, you know, their friend in Cincinnati says, you know, man, we really want to sell our house and move out to the country. Then they think of me. So,
okay. But you have your banner, you have your little swags. Okay. Got it.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. And usually there's something that like, trying to think. One thing I did recently was one of my farm areas was having a community yard sale. Let me tell you, this is what turned out, ended up being a total ninja move. So they were having a community yard sale. This is a neighborhood where people go to die, but I market it anyway because it's a gorgeous neighborhood and I love all the houses there, and it is a higher end luxury neighborhood. So I made koozies that said KatWilliamsHomes on it, and it had my tagline. I made them with my circuit. I took the little insert card that talks about my referral program. I took my buyers and sellers brochure and I stuck it in there, and then I clipped a pen on the out. I put it all inside. There's a post in the Collaborating Agents page, but I put it all inside the koozie and I clipped a pen on the outside. And I went to every house that had a yard sale, and I simply went up and I introduced myself by saying, I'm the crazy real estate lady that sends you stuff in the mail.
Oh, and I saw that.
Yep.
That was interesting. That was really cool.
One of the guys actually said to me, he goes, which one of the 6 people are you that I get real estate stuff from?
I saw that.
That was very telling. And then I said, I'm the one who just sent you the football magnet. And they're like, oh, we love that. And I had so many tell me it was such an awesome idea to send the football magnet. And then getting out and making those personal touches, everybody appreciated it. So now the 5 other real estate agents that send them something, they don't matter.
No,
I do.
You're ahead.
I took time to go introduce myself.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
So you can do, you can do a cookie exchange. This Saturday, I'm doing a chili cook-off. I highly recommend that you check with the health department before doing any sort of food event. So I was just going to charge $5 to register, and then that money was going to be the prize money, just like we did for the dare. And then it was going to be like, I think $3 or $5 for unlimited tastes. And that money was also going to go towards the prize money. And the health department called me within a day of me posting about the chili cook-off. Yeah. And, you know, it turns out that if I'm going to do it that way, they have to prepare everything on site. And I figured I'd have to have some sort of like banquet permit, but no, it's a lot more than that. So I ended up having to purchase the prize myself, and then the local trophy place is donating a plaque. But
prizes are
it's
less involved.
Exactly.
Real quick on your buyers and sellers that you said you had with you when you knocked on the doors. You said you had the buyers and sellers.
The brochures.
The brochures. Where can we find that?
My coaches provided us with a template, and I cannot share the template with you because it's
Oh,
copyrighted.
those are
but
your, okay, got it. Okay,
Yeah.
and that's just the buyers and sellers brochures. That's all they are.
It's a typical, it's exactly what you would think a brochure would be. When we talk about next, it'll be first quarter next year, we're going to do listing presentations and buyer presentations, and you will get a sample of what mine looks like.
Okay, and that just has what, like just buyer and sellers information, or?
Yeah, so it has like my buyer's one has the buying process. I'd have
Oh,
to
the
look
buying, okay.
specifically. You know, and has the steps that you should take to getting pre-approved. And then on the back, it kind of
Okay.
talks about how I work with buyers. And then the listing one
Got it.
is a mini listing presentation. So
Okay, got it.
yeah. All right. And then you can do a 4th of July barbecue. We bought a small ranch, and one of the reasons we bought it was so that we could do real estate events for my sphere of influence at my house. And so we have been having a regular 4th of July barbecue for friends and family, but now we're going to open it up to the community next year, and it'll just be kind of like a potluck thing. It's on my personal property, so the health department really can't do much about it. But if you are going to do an event on your personal property, make sure you have a really good umbrella insurance policy just to cover your butt.
Got it.
Okay. So if you've never hosted an event before, team up with someone who has done them for your first one. Or you could find some training on how to put on an event on your on our YouTube channel. We did that just a couple weeks ago. And it doesn't have to be a real estate event. It can just be any event in general, but doing a quick search on YouTube for how to host an event or the things that go into it. Those people who attended the hosting and event training, they got some supplemental materials with like planning and checklists and things like that. There's so many things that go into that you need to take into consideration, and a budget is number one. So I encourage you all to go back to our YouTube channel and watch that video, because it talks about things that you need to do for your budget to make sure that you don't have to pay taxes on any of it.
No.
Okay, any questions? We just talked a long time about events. Any questions?
I don't know anyone else does.
All right.
1 second, I'll be right back here. 1 second here.
All right. So we were just kind of talking about budgets with your events. Your monthly, in your business plan, you need to have a section for your monthly budgetary concerns. Like I said earlier, I'm the worst about following my own advice in this area, but keeping to a budget is very important. A monthly budget should be the reoccurring monthly expenses. So if you have, if you subscribe to a marketing platform like Coffee and Contracts or something like that, that should go in there. If you have a monthly fee for your lockbox or any apps that you use on your phone, that all goes into monthly budgetary concerns. If you don't know how much you spent last year or how much you are going to spend this year, then you need to get that figured out. So by this year, I mean 2024. And if you don't know your numbers, you're probably paying way more in taxes than you need to be. So one of the things I put on here is I use the Hurdler app. It is $100 a year, but what makes it cool is it tracks your mileage. It allows you to enter notes, so you can put the name of which client. So like I have some clients right now by the last name of DeFosse. So I can say DeFosse showings, DeFosse inspection, those kinds of things. It also allows you, if you don't have a separate account for your business and you just have everything in one checking account, you can also swipe, I think it's swipe left for personal, swipe right for business. You can create rules so that everything from Coffee and Contracts is automatically gets put in the business column. And then it gives you quarterly reports and year-end reports. And it pulls everything from your checking account. So when you get a deposit from a commission check, it'll be in there too. So it's a really great app. So here's a list of some monthly budgetary, whoa, that copyright is in the wrong place. Here's a list of some monthly budgetary concerns or things to keep in mind. Marketing programs like Coffee and Contracts, or if you're in Girls with Grit and you subscribe to Momentum. If you're with EXP, we have the option now of getting a package of pre-printed listing materials. So that would be potentially a reoccurring expense. If you have coaching, if you subscribe to things like the cloud, Office 365, QR codes, all of that stuff is a monthly budgetary consideration because it is a reoccurring expense. And in a couple, I think it might even be next week or next time, but we'll be doing just a big old bookkeeping collaboration. Like, how do you do it? How do I do it? There's going to be probably no presentation. It's just going to be, this is what we do. We might have a few slides. Carrie and I do things differently. I want to be like her when I grow up. But my way works too. And my way works for my accountant. And then the week after that is when we'll have my sister come in and talk to you guys about tax write-offs for real estate agents. And then your annual budgetary considerations. So these are things that you're billed for annually and things that you may need to spend money on annually for your business. So maybe like getting a new computer or a printer, or maybe there's a gadget you want to buy for your company, like a gimbal or something like that. That was your annual budgetary considerations are once a year expenses. If you are always buying new signs every year, that should be in here. New lock boxes, your income taxes, state income taxes if you have them, any conferences that you want to attend. And if any of you in here are with EXP, like we said at the beginning, Carrie and I are both having FOMO for not being at EXPCon, but we had the dare going on. We didn't plan properly. And so we're both going next year. Let's just say it that way. Any other continuing education that you might want to do, like if your CEs are due and you know you're going to have to spend $200 this year to get those done, then get it done. If you have to renew your license, that's an annual budgetary consideration. If you pay for your own health insurance, contribute to retirement, or if you have insurance for your company, things like that, then if you pay your own E&O, because some whatchamacallits require you pay your own E&O, some brokerages. So those are all like annual budgetary considerations. And again, the monthly and the annual are two separate headings. All right, so personal goals. We talked about the importance of personal wellness, and that includes your personal goals. You always want to have a list of personal goals. This is your motivation. You can have simple daily goals, or you can have like an end goal. And in a second, we're going to talk about doing a vision board to help you get there. But like some of my goals, daily devotional time. Next year, I want to really focus on doing old lady yoga. And, like maybe you have an idea of season tickets to your professional sports team, or you want to buy a new car. Those go under your personal goals. I have additional lists of places where I want to travel. So I have a USA list, an elsewhere list, and a list for Christmas towns because my husband and I are Christmas freaks. So those are all things that are personal goals. This is not a monetary personal goal. This is a goal of something that you want to accomplish. And then the last thing I have is an ideas for the next year. So these can be business or personal goals. It's just a place like if all of a sudden you in 2024 you decide you want a new car, in 2025 you go and you put it in ideas for next year. You see an example of an event or a postcard or something that someone did on Facebook, you see that and you want to do it next year, then you go and you put it in your ideas for next year. Like I said, if you're with the XP, maybe you want to make icons so you can earn your $16,000 cap back. Maybe you want to do monthly events. You're not ready to do it yet in 2024, but you want it to be a goal in 2025. It's just a list of ideas to stir your brain and get you thinking about next year, because long-term planning is just as important as planning for the quarter. Same thing. I have another one, 3 to 5 year goals. Take all of your goals and personal and business and make a vision board. So this is my vision board for this year. There are templates in Canva for vision boards. So travel goals. I wanted to go to Italy. This is our 10-year anniversary, and we wanted to go to Italy in November. It's not going to happen, but it's a goal. So just because it didn't happen doesn't mean I failed. It's going on my vision board for 2024. Family goals, to do some construction on our house. We bought an old 1900 farmhouse that was built in 1900. It needs a lot of updating, and we're working on that. I wanted to have my kitchen done this year, but it's going to cost about 50 grand, and I don't want to take a loan out for it. So same thing with the master bathroom. There's our little house, the home improvement list, paint the interior rooms, update, remodel the kitchen, add the additional master bath / suite. Just some motivational things to me. Powered by God and EXP Realty. Faith goals, because faith is a huge part of my business plan. And then some real estate goals. So we started collaborating agents in December. My goal was to have 100 agents at the end of this year. And we have adjusted that goal so many times that now it's at 500 agents. My net income, I wanted to be 100K. So that was going to require me to sell 42 houses. We have an express offer certification. It's kind of like an iBuyer program, but it's not, because EXP doesn't buy the properties. It's just kind of like wholesaling, where investors say, okay, this is what I want. If you find it for me, here's everything you have to do to present it to me. And so I wanted to do 6 to 12 express offers. I wanted to grow my luxury business, do a client appreciation events, and then EXP Con and build. So again, some of those I'm meeting, some of them I'm not. They'll get moved to the next one. Goals for our ranch: livestock, updating the barn, buying some new equipment, and we want to paint a barn quilt on our barn. So these are personal and business. It's all of my goals put onto a visual piece of paper. I just print it out on some cardstock on my printer, and I post it on a bulletin board so I can see it every single day. All right, remember I said at the beginning that we were going to talk about ways to get yourself organized and keep your time managed. So time blocking is what I do, but it doesn't work for Carrie. So if you go back, we have all of the slides for the presentation for time blocking, and then we do have the video for our presentation on what if time blocking doesn't work. Both of them are great presentations. And that even if you time block, the one, what if time blocking doesn't work, can still be really helpful for you. So time blocking is what makes it all happen without losing your mind. So Lisa, you were saying you're all over the place trying to find, keep everything balanced. If you time block, this will help you. Like I said, we have slides in the files section from that collaboration meeting. Putting everything down on paper is the easy part. And part of your bonus materials will include some documents to help you get started with time blocking. But sticking to your calendar is the hard part. You need to schedule everything: lead generation time, showings, closings, listing appointments. But first, you schedule your family time. That's the stuff that, unless there's an emergency, cannot be moved. And when you start, like I said, when you start time blocking, put family in first: dinner with family, kid drop off, kid sports practice, a family day. I know one of my real estate coaches, Tara, she does every Sunday, because she doesn't work on Sunday either. Sunday is a family day. So if there's not something going on sports wise with her kids, then they go do something fun as a family. So you guys will get a little form like this to help you get started with time blocking. And if you write your business plan and then start with your time blocking, because you can include some of your time blocking, like for your lead gen. You can even put, like, let's say you have 3 different kinds of lead gen. So you put lead gen in every day, because you should have at least 2 to 3 hours of lead generation time every day. And that includes time on social media, if that's how you're marketing it. And then you're going to put in, like, let's say Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, part of your lead gen is going to be to do a video that educates your niche. That can go into your time blocking. It goes in your calendar. This is what I'm doing today. If you're going to sit down and cold call, then that's one of your lead gen opportunities. Then that's what you're going to put in there. And I'll show you a couple of examples in just a minute. So the reason I put this sheet up here is because before you start time blocking, I want you to keep track of everything that you do for a week. Then come up with a plan for your time blocking. And then in the end, you'll have a very pretty calendar. So I have another sheet in your bonus materials that actually breaks this down into 15-minute increments as well. So you can actually really niche down on this and figure out what you're doing with your day. So here's just a sample of a time blocking calendar. This is done in Google. I do have everything color coded, and I'll show you an example of what my schedule looks like in just a second. But if you look here on Sunday, it's family day. And then after dinner, I usually sit down and plan for the week real quick. I just look at what's coming up, if I have any inspections or any deadlines that I need to worry about. And then I don't have this, but it's just something that most people do, dropping the kids off at school. If that's something that's important to you and it's something that you do, put it in first. I spend an hour every morning getting ready, doing my devotional time. Like I said, Carrie and I do that Bible study together. And then we also have a paper daily Bible study thing. It's a devotional that we do together as well. And so that I do from 8 to 9. My office hours are 9 to 7. So by 9 o'clock, I'm sitting at my computer ready to work. When I'm marketing on social media, I just call it social media stalking, because I'm stalking all of the pages that I'm on to see are there any posts about someone looking for an agent, questions about real estate, and so forth. If I have anything to do for my clients, it's client follow-up. Again, that can also include, following up with your sphere of influence, and you can change this as you need to. It doesn't have to be exactly like this. It's just to give you an idea. Check with your transaction coordinator on your contracts. Is there anything you need to be doing to help them out? Are they struggling with anything? It's just a quick email. If you don't have a transaction coordinator, just look at the client names and look at each one of your contracts every day and see what needs to be done. I keep a Trello board. I might do a presentation on that next year, maybe in the summertime. I keep a Trello board that it's not as detailed as it could be, but it just kind of helps me take that glance every day at my contracts and see what's going on. If you pick up your kids from school, that goes in first. Backtracking a little bit, lead generation or anything business related from 1 to 3. I've also had that 1 hour of lead gen in the morning doing social media stalking. So after you pick up the kids, let's say they have football practice Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you put that in. Dinner with your family every night if that's something that's important to you. So then I show houses in the afternoon and early evening. And then if I need to, from 7 to 9, my business day ends at 7, but we all know showing houses, we'll do it whenever we have to. So, and then on Saturday, if you have your kids' football games or sports games or whatever, that should all go in your calendar too. Those things that cannot be moved, that are most important to you are super important. You can adjust the times. Like let's say you have to show a house at 5:30 and football practice starts at 5, but let's say your kid is 13 and you don't need to go to football practice. You can adjust everything accordingly. Any questions about this? Okay. So here's just a quick example. This is August 2022, but just a quick example of what mine looks like. Excuse me, at this point, we were testing out new churches because we had just moved here. So it says I'm going to Faith Family Church in Wilmington. It's actually where we ended up. Studying for my Ohio exam. I put that, notice that goes across the board, studying for my exam, because if I didn't put it in there, it wouldn't happen. So every Monday morning, I schedule my social media. And so I put that in there. Follow up with, that's light blue. So that's agent attraction. I used to put out the Reminder Media magazine, so occasionally it's in there to go in and edit and make it personal. I have friends and family birthdays are in yellow, and then past clients' birthdays I think are in blue. Orange for me is anything that is education related. Look there, TC, Carrie, accountability call. We used to have an accountability call with each other every Wednesday morning before our coaching call with Girls with Grit. So you can see there's another, agent attraction is lavender. So there's an agent attraction call. Here's a networking event down here, Hops Brewery Social. So people always comment, look, I even have on there to call my dad. So that's how far down I come with it. I have bills that are due, put reminders up there all day for things, do a photo book. I wanted to do a photo book every year, all that kind of stuff. So any questions on how I put that together? All right. So like I said, early on in Collaborating Agents, we did a time blocking meeting. It wasn't recorded, but go look at the worksheets because it'll help you. It gives you forms to complete to break down for all of your, get you set up for time blocking. And I'm also sending those to you guys too. And then if time blocking doesn't work for you, even if it does, go ahead and check out that what if time blocking doesn't work for you on our YouTube channel. Okay, I've been talking about this bonus material, so make sure you drop your email address in the chat, and I'll send you a couple of bonus documents for being here today. Only you guys will get to see this document. They will not be posted to the group page or in the files. One will help you get your budget and income requirements together, and then the other one is a template for my business plan, and then there's also materials to help you get started with time blocking. So I had suggested reading for you guys, the 12-week year, I mentioned it, and then Ninja Selling. If you haven't read the Ninja Selling book, it's awesome. And then one I forgot to add for you guys, it's in my backpack. Carrie, if you're handy, it's the book that we both read, that we got all of the cool open house ideas from. I know Carrie was gonna, there she is.
I know what you're talking about. I'll get back to you. I'll put it in the chat.
All right. So she'll put that book in the chat. It gave us all kinds of ideas for open houses that we're both gonna try and implement some of them. If you watch our open house training, it's called Open Houses with Pizzazz. It has some of those ideas in there as well. But that's really the 12-week year and Ninja Selling. Those are the ones that we highly recommend to you for business planning. So any more questions or anything to share? Okay, so this is totally separate from Collaborating Agents. It's an event I'm doing on my own. If you do want to learn more about EXP, we're doing a Zoom with Brent Gove on November 16th. So even if you just want to know firsthand what we offer, my philosophy is that you don't know what you don't know. So I highly recommend, not just with EXP, but that if you're not happy with your brokerage, that you do your research and you find another brokerage. If you're not getting support from your brokerage, highly recommend that you look for something else, that somewhere that is going to support you.